Welcome to yet another Day Zero build for Attack on Titan Apocalypse, everyone. Uh, as usual, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps support the channel and it gets the word out to more card gamers and Attack on Titan fans so that more people see the content and come to enjoy the game that we love. So, with that said, let's get on to Hange Zoe, 14th Commander of the Survey Corps, a 7 hand size 23 health character with life and order as her symbols and the Survey Corps trait. As a static, she says at the start of your turn, so the very beginning, add 1 wall counter to this card, just for free. And then add 1 wall counter to this card for every 4 cards in your stage with different names. Now what's cool is this doesn't just mean foundations. Your character counts towards this count. Assets and backups also count towards this count, as well as your foundations. And then she has an enhance, remove 3 wall counters from her, choose 1 card in your card pool. It does not count towards progressive difficulty this turn. So this can be used offensively and defensively to either make sure you're not dealing with progressive difficulty to block or to play your attacks. So what does Hange want to do? She wants to play kind of a defensive game and then string out 1 long attack string, playing on virtually no progressive difficulty, and gaining a lot of wall counters is a great way to do that. So let's start with our attack lineup. She has Stalling for Time. This is a 6/3, 5 high for 6 with a 2 high block. It's got Deadlock, Stun 2, Ranged, and Weapon, meaning if your rival has at least 11 foundations, you get access to the Stun 2 enhance, which means your rival has to commit 2 foundations. And as a blitz, you draw 1 card for each attack in your card pool. Now 2 things. 1, this counts itself, so if it is your opening attack, you get to draw 1 card. Second, if you are stringing long enough without having to worry about progressive difficulty thanks to your wall counter gimmick, this 6 diff attack doesn't matter that much, and you can draw 2, 3, 4 cards for playing this on a 6, which is pretty cool. We have Battling the Titans, a 7/4, 6 mid for 5 with a 2 mid block and the weapon keyword. Blitz, add 3 wall counters to any card in your stage. That automatically meets the requirement for Hange to then make something not count towards progressive difficulty, so Battling the Titans is your ideal opening attack. And with a 6 mid 5, it's pretty decent stats. It is a 7 diff, but it has that 4 check, which is pretty nice. We have Hange's Last Stand, a 5/3, 3 mid for 6, 0 low block, Stun 1, Ranged, and Weapon. As a static, it says if we have 10 or less health or our rival has cycled this game, this attack gets -3 difficulty. It becomes a 2 difficulty attack with 3 mid 6 stats. That's really, really good. And as a response in our card pool, which is what the card pool in brackets means, at the start of the end phase, build this card face down. So if we attack with it, we get to build it down at the end of our turn. If we block with it, we get to build it at the start of our rival's combat phase. So this can turn into a foundation for our turn after we block with that very nice 0 low block. We have Thunder Spear Barrage. This is a really fun attack. It's a 3/3, 5 high for 2 with a 2 high block, Echo, Ranged, and Weapon. Echo being a response ability that says response after this attack resolves, spend 1 momentum. Play this attack as your next form from your card pool, but flip it after it resolves. So we get to turn this 1 attack into 2 if we have at least 1 momentum. And then Blitz, this attack gets -X speed and +X damage. X cannot be greater than 4. So this is a great thing to throw at the end of a string, especially if you're not dealing with progressive difficulty, because if your rival runs out of cards in their hand, this can just be a 1 high for 6 twice. So that could be 12 damage from this 3 difficulty move, which is really incredible. That's not including any stats that you put on it. We have Unyielding Destruction, a 5/3, 2 mid for 6, 2 mid block, Titan keyword. This card has a lot of people on edge lately. It says Blitz, each player chooses 4 foundations in their stage and sacrifices the rest. So what's really good about this card is if we don't care about progressive difficulty, we can afford to play on fewer foundations. Our rival might not have the same kind of fortune, so this could boost us in a way, because if we're not playing with progressive difficulty, we're still checking 5s when we're playing our 5 difficulty, our 5 difficulty, our 3 difficulty, and our rival's gonna run out of defensive resources really quickly. We have Determined Dive, a 4/3, 3 high for 5 with a 2 mid block, Fury, and Weapon. Blitz, draw 1 card if you have a wall counter. Well, it says wall token, but it means wall counter in your stage. And at the start of our turn, Hange gives us 1 no matter what. Blitz, build the top card of your deck face down committed. So we get to build a free foundation, and we get to draw a card. Pretty good. And lastly, Wall Artillery, a 5/3, 5 high for 4 with a 2 high block, the ranged and weapon keywords. Blitz, add 1 wall counter to a card in your stage. This attack gets +1 damage for every 2 wall counters on all cards in your stage. And Hanji is not the only card in our stage that can gain wall counters. So if we've got 10 wall counters total, this gets +5 damage, which is a pretty good rate. Now I will say, there is a card called Wall Maria's Might, which is a secret rare from the first Attack on Titan set that can get wall counters and draw a bunch of cards and is really, really good and would be perfect for Hanji. Because that card is kind of expensive, I did not want to add it here for newer players. I didn't want them to think it would be too daunting. But yeah, Wall Maria's Might, go look it up if you are really interested in playing Hanji or any wall counter character. It's really, really good for her, if you can afford it. On to our non-attack cards. We'll start with assets. We have Eidenbox, a 2/5 with a 2 low block and the unique keyword, meaning we're only allowed 1 copy of it in our stage at a time. Enhanced Commit, return this attack to its printed speed and damage, return it to its printed zone, and if it was unblockable, it is no longer unblockable. Just reset your attack to its printed everything. Set it back to basics. This is such a powerful defensive ability, especially considering we are a 7 hand size character with 23 health. So if this means we only take 4 damage from an attack, that's more than pulled its weight. Another good defensive asset is Airy, a 2/5 with a 3 low block, ally, and unique. As a static, at the start of our end phase, we get to ready 1 non-unique asset or foundation that was not readied during this turn's combat phase. So we go into our rival's turn with 1 more resource ready. And then response, remove, spend 1 momentum before the damage step of your rival's attack, reduce its damage to your current health -1 to a minimum of 1. So this is always going to guarantee that we live that fatal attack. It's going to leave us at 1 no matter what. So very powerful defensive piece here. Onto actions, we have Filled with Doubt, a 2/5 with a 2 mid block. Response, after your rival plays an attack, seal it. Sealing a card removes all of its abilities and makes sure it cannot gain abilities. And there are a lot of very powerful attacks floating around, like Unyielding Destruction, that it'd be really good to just turn off all the abilities on that and say, yeah, we're not dealing with that. We're just dealing with the numbers on the card, if you don't mind. I've added some backups. We have Onyakapon, a 2/5 4 stamina with a 1 low block, unique, and ally. First enhance, commit, choose 1 card in your card pool. It does not count towards progressive difficulty this turn. You cannot play abilities on cards named Onyankapon this turn. So what this does is, as a first enhance, which is the first enhance we want to play during any given enhance step, we turn Onyankapon sideways, and we don't have to spend 3 wall counters to use Hanji's ability. So this allows us to save our wall counters and string out a little bit longer. And then we have Sean Gilmore, probably one of the best backups in the game right now. I said one of. It's a 3/5, 4 stamina, 2 mid block, unique, ally, mage, and party. While this card is in our stage, our character is a mage. We don't worry about that. Enhanced Commit, our next check gets +2. That means our next check to block, or our next check to play an attack or a foundation, whatever. This furthers our ability to string out, even if we can't make everything not count towards progressive. And onto our foundations, we have End the Cycle, a 2/5 with a 2 low block, Enhanced Commit. This attack is minus X speed. X equals the number of cards in all players' card pools combined. This can end up being a very powerful speed hate. If you've blocked twice, obviously your rivals played 2 attacks, and they play a 3rd attack, this commits for minus 5 speed. And if we're making our blocks not count towards progressive difficulty, minus 5 speed for free is incredible. We have Impassioned Appeal, a 2/5 with a 2 high block. Response: after you take damage, add a wall counter to your character. So if we have to take a direct hit or we partial block, we just get to stockpile free wall counters. So that's pretty good. See the Ocean, a 1/6 with a 3 mid block. Response: at the start of the end phase, if no characters took damage this turn, gain 1 health. So this is not only for your rival's turn if you were able to play perfect defense, but if it's your rival was able to play perfect defense and you weren't able to chip damage on him, or maybe you just took a turn to build and you didn't throw any attacks, you just gain a health for every copy of this in your stage. That's really, really good. Snap Decision, a 3/4 with a 3 mid block. Looks like that's Levi. That's sad. Response: remove after your rival plays their 3rd or greater attack this turn. Add it to their hand, and their next check to play an attack gets -1. So a little bit of don't touch me. Especially good if your rival had to commit several foundations to play that 3rd attack. You put it back in their hand and say, try it again, but with 1 less to your check. Visions of the Survey Corps, a 2/5 with a 2 low block. Response: after you play this card, add 1 wall counter to any card in your stage. So this is if we play it as a form or if we play it as a block. And then enhance flip. This attack gets -2 speed or -2 damage. So if we want -2 speed, so we can completely block it and trigger our See the Oceans, or if we want to give it -2 damage and trigger our Impassioned Appeals by taking that damage. Either way, it's a very solid card for Hange. We have Yelena's Machinations, a 3/5 with a 3 mid block. Enhance flip, look at the top card of your deck, you may discard it. This is great for seeing what we're going to be checking as our next check. Make it if it's a 5 or a 6, we can keep it on top. If it's a 3 or less, we can discard it. Response: Outwit. After your rival plays an attack, it gets -2 speed and we get to draw 1 card. So Outwit is a response timing trigger. It says this ability can only be played if this card is face down and ready in your stage. As an additional cost to play it, unflip it and commit this card. So if it's ready and face down in your stage when your rival plays an attack, you unflip it, you turn it back face up, and then you commit it, you give -2 speed and you draw a card. So this not only fuels its own outwit cost of being face down, but you can also see the card you're going to draw if you use it right before that attack is played. So that is really, really powerful there. We have Moment of Normalcy, a 2/5 with a 3 high block and the unique keyword. Enhance Commit, return this attack to its printed speed or damage. Really good defensively, obviously, kind of like we have the Idun box, to either take less damage or make something more blockable. We have Tarot Reading, a 1/4 with a 3 high block. Enhance flip, name a card type, then reveal the top card of your deck. If the card matches the name type, add it to your hand. So what you usually do with this is you just turn it face down and say attack. If it's not an attack, you know you've got a 5 or a 6 on top of your deck. If it is, you just drew a free attack. Pretty easy. We have Brief Respite, a 1/5 with a 3 high block. Enhance, sacrifice 1 foundation, gain 1 health. It is just free health, trying to keep our little 7-hander alive as long as possible. We have Defend the City, a 2/6 with a 1 high block. Response: Tenacious, or playable while this card is committed. Flip, after you commit any number of cards due to a rival effect, build the top card of your deck face down. They stun you, you build a free foundation. We have Desperate Plea, a 1/4 with a 2 mid block. Response: flip, after you block, build the card you blocked with either face up or face down. This is a great way to build in an Idun box or a Sean Gilmore for free. You can also build in any of these foundations for free, or if you blocked with an attack, you could build it face down, you gain another foundation, and that's another block that's not counting towards your progressive difficulty. We have Last Second Rescue, a 2/5 with a 3 mid block. Response flip, spend 1 momentum. After you take damage, gain X health. If X equals the amount of damage you took. If X is greater than 5, sacrifices Foundation. So this is great for taking a hit, gaining that damage, all of that damage back as health, and then your Impassioned Appeals give you a bunch of wall counters. Pretty simple. This will not work if you are reduced to 0, though, so keep that in mind. We have Historia's Declaration, a 3/5 with a 2 mid block. Enhance flip, choose 1 card in any stage. If the chosen card has 1 or more wall counters on it, this attack gains +2 or -2 damage. Add 2 wall counters to the chosen card. So this is another great way to stockpile wall counters on our character, while either gaining damage on our attacking turn, or getting -2 damage to maybe trigger our Impassioned Appeals and get even more wall counters. We have Fortify Walls, a 2/5 with a 2 high block. As a static, at the end of your turn, add a wall counter to this card. Now this means at the end of the end phase, after everything's done. So once you build this down, at the end of your turn, it gets a wall counter. Enhance Flip, move all wall counters from this card to any other card in your stage. So this has 3 or 4 or 5 wall counters, and we're ready to go in swinging. We just move all of our wall counters to Hange. Or enhance, remove all wall counters from this card. This attack gets -1 speed for each counter removed this way. Just some major speed hate, so we can protect our defensive little 7-hand girl. We have Keiko's Aid, a 2/5 with a 3 high block. Response flip, after you block an attack, your rival's next attack gets +2 difficulty this turn. This works great in conjunction with Snap Decision. So if you block your rival's second attack and you flip Keiko's Aid, say, cool, your next attack gets +2 difficulty. And if they're brazen enough to go for it, you then Snap Decision, put it back in their hand and say, yeah, try it again, and you're going to get -1 to your next check. It's a great way to try to shut down your rival's offensive turn. And lastly, Syndicate Target, a 0/6 with a 0 low block. As a static, after you play this card as a block, you lose 1 health, but it's got a great block and a great 6 check, which helps us with our stringing out. And that is the first take on Hange Zoe, 14th Commander of the Survey Corps. Again, I think she wants to play very defensive until she has that stockpile of wall counters and can just go in with a really deep string of powerful offense, making sure nothing counts towards progressive difficulty. And I think she can very easily make that happen. But what do you guys think? What do you think of Hanji? What do you think of Attack on Titan Apocalypse as a set? Which character are you most excited for? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.